Josh, man, what do you have for me here?
So what we got is a delicious Blank Wines white blend from the North Coast.
Oh, up here, kind of Sonoma.
Yeah, Sonoma, a little bit north, and even up into Mendocino out there. So,
Josh, I've been kind of drinking wine since the '70s, and followed all the trends. It seems like, or the popular things that came out over the last few decades. White blends, you just never really heard of them.
Yeah, I mean, typically, like in California, especially, the whole U.S., it's not super common to see. You see red blends all the time. They're everywhere. You see them at the grocery store, and there's big variety there. But white blends aren't as common, for sure. And I think one of the main reasons, what we always say at Blank is, we have a lot of people our age, or my age, they tend to drink what their parents drank.
Yeah.
And like you said, you don't see a lot of white blends. So, that's one thing that we're really excited about, is kind of showcase this, something that's common in other areas of the world, and really bring it to California, bring it to, everyone that, loves
wine. The more I studied it, the Rhone region has a lot of blends.
Yep. Rhone's, they're the king of white blends.
That's great. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Let's. Should we try it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's jump in. So it's also got a nice screw cap on it, because this is a perfect daytime wine.
But with whites, I like screw caps, because your tendency is to drink it throughout the day and then maybe come back in the evening and have it. And
yeah, it's great.
Boy, it's got a beautiful color, Josh.
And before I tell you what's in there, just give it a smell, and let's really experience this.
Okay, so what do you smell, Josh?
First thing that comes to mind, I'd say tropical fruits.
Big tropical fruits.
Yeah, it's just refreshing, like pineapple. It's just real nice.
And do you get a little green apple or something on there?
Yeah, I definitely get a bit of that.
All right, Josh, time to taste this thing.
Let's get a quick cheers first.
Cheers, brother. What's in this?
So, it's a few different varietals. So the main varietal is Sauvignon Blanc. And then there's some Gewürztraminer. I know it's a mouthful. And there's also some Viognier, and then a little bit of Pinot Gris, just to finish it off.
Come on, man! You're just talking bad to me, brother. You know how I memorized Gewürztraminer when I was in school?
How?
The girls are meaner. Once this guy told me, he said, just think about it when the girls are meaner. And so I always remember Gewürztraminer.
That's definitely a good tip, because when you see it spelled out on the bottle, you're like, I have no idea how to pronounce that.
I'm going to tell you, sitting on the porch with charcuterie.
Oh yeah.
All the cheeses that would go with this, creamy cheese would go with it. A hard Millouette would be really good.
Some goat
cheese,
match the acidity in there.
What does goat cheese not go with? Unfortunately,
that's true. That's why it's my favorite cheese.
you and I love it. You and Lars and I love it. But you know what I love about this blend? It's very difficult to find a wine that will pair with Thai food, Indian food, that kind of not a Mexican spice, not a jalapeno spice, but an herb, pepper.
Yeah.
This is going to be perfect.
This with Thai food would be amazing. You could even go into Chinese with this too.
You really could.
Yeah.
And they claim there's not a wine that pairs with Chinese. I think you just found it with this.
The other thing that I love about white blends is, like, you really get the best piece of each varietal, each type of wine, or each type of grape in the wine. So it's like, Sauv Blanc, you get some of that, minerality, stone, and then the Gewürztraminer is just this, that's all the tropical fruit. Same with the Viognier. The Viognier also gives it that nice mouthfeel, when you're drinking it. It just leaves you wanting that next sip. So I mean, it's a great.
God,
blend.
those are great points. Great points, because I'm getting exactly. I did get a little stone in a smell. I didn't come up with it, but as soon as you said the description of Sauvignon Blanc, the stone comes in. It's awesome, and the velvety of the Gewürztraminer and the Viognier, whatever that little petrol oil is, and the velvety on your palate is so nice. And then boom, the brightness of the Pinot Grigio.
Yeah, and it just finishes it out perfect.
This is a great wine. Good job on this one, brother.
So one thing that we love to do at Blank is, when we have our back label, as you guys just saw, we really want to break down wines to make them easier to understand so you figure out what you like. So let's talk through this back label.
First of all, Josh, I love this idea. I really do, because, people that are breaking into wine, they might taste one, especially this one, and they go, I like this. But do they know why? And if they can't find this particular blend, what do they look for if they're going to try to buy a wine that they realize that they like?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole point. Is we know, wine has so many different options. Like we want to teach people about wine, so if they are at a restaurant or something, they know I like this style with these characteristics, and they can pick out one that they really enjoy.
It's brilliant. I love what you're doing. So what? You have body, acidity, and sweetness, right?
Yeah. So for our white wines, we leave out the other one we have on our reds is tannin, but we leave that out because white wines typically don't have tannins. But for this one, so the body, I believe it's a 2 on there. Yeah. So we decided to go with body as a 2 because it does have that Viognier in there, and it has a little bit of that nice mouthfeel. So it's not like a full Sauv Blanc where you're drinking something and it's real light and refreshing. This does have a little bit of texture to it, which is nice.
I'd say for a white, it's full bodied. It's you're just. It's not asking for anything on the palate. It's giving me everything I would want in a refreshing white blend wine.
And then jumping into the next one. So the next one is acidity. And I know acidity sounds a little bit off-putting when you're talking about wine, but I mean, in food and wine, acidity is one of the key components in there. So you've said it before, but I loved your analogy of if you're having fish and say halibut or salmon or something, you put a little bit of lemon on there, it just kind of brightens up the flavors, and lemon has acid in it. So I mean, it kind of does the same thing in this wine where it just makes those tropical fruit notes and different things like that just kind of really pop.
What I've been trying to understand about acid wine is when you can really taste the fruit. Like when you eat a really perfect pear, plum, peach, it's just bright in that. And I guess what's happened on the tree is it's balanced its acidity out, where it's just so beautiful. And whoever put this together really nailed the acidity, I feel.
Definitely, yeah. It's nice and it's balanced with the body of it too. And then the last component is sweetness. And I mean, this wine it's a dry wine. It has a 0 on our sweetness scale out of 4. I mean, you might think when you come into it, it has so much fruit that you almost think like, oh wait, it's kind of sweet. But I mean, sweetness in wine is measured by the sugar content. Alcohol is created when sugar goes through the fermentation process and then ends up as alcohol. So when there's that leftover sugar, that's when you get the sweetness, when it doesn't go through fermentation fully. But this wine did, and you get that nice bone dry finish.
What I'm picturing is any kind of creamy pastas.
Oh yeah,
with this would go good.
Yeah.
So we've gone from Thailand to India to China. I got to hook up with Italy, right? God, you picked a dynamite bottle here, brother. Cheers.
Well, thank you.
Good job. I love this.